Hey folks, I have a special treat for you tonight. In this video, we're going to do an analysis on Google. They just had earnings, and we're going to do it just like we did yesterday with the AMD analysis. We're going to be looking at the chart, the technical chart, followed by the earnings results, and then the exciting business update. And I truly do believe it's exciting because in this day and age, everything AI, what Google is doing to compete with ChatGPT, with Gemini, I think is just fantastic. And I was just looking through some of the document that they release, and you'll just see their whole entire business line, how they're performing. It's just fantastic information, in my honest opinion. So let's dive right into number one, the technical charts. So as we look at the technical charts right here, what I have is the daily chart. You can see right here that it currently is down 2% today on the trading day. And by the way, today is February 4th, 2026. And if you look at the after hours right here on the earnings results, it's only down about 0.4%, right? We zoom into the 5 minute, you can see the activity is kind of wild. Initially, when the earnings came out, gap down, right? Came back up and then push up and then back down, it's just like sideways. So, very interesting times is also showing that, hey, the market context currently, the broader market is not doing too well, could be something to consider, right? Volatility is kind of elevated, but it's not yet. VIX is not yet over 20, and I'll show you what I mean in a bit here. But if we were to read the quick AI generated annotation up here, right? You can see that Alphabet shares after reporting rise after reporting Q4. Well, then it rose a little bit, came back down. Results above expectations, right? So this goes back to my comments on earnings. It's always been like a 50-50 sort of thing. You can't really predict it, and again, it's just it could be a situation of the environment right now, right? But I honestly think this is a really great company because the last time I analyzed their entire business, economic, or product stack, whatever you call it, they literally have a business almost like end to end. We're talking about B to C to B, maybe even business to governments, right? So very interesting B to B to C sort of model. But they also have everything from like again consumer search to Gemini to Google Cloud for enterprise software. It's just wow, amazing business. So let's finish off the charts over here. So looking at the charts, we can see that it's still in an uptrend, a little bit of damage on earnings, but really nothing much. Could be just a market situation. If we look at the broader market, going to QQQ real quick, you could also see today's action, right? We dipped below the 100-day moving average right there. A good amount of volume came in, so not looking too good from a market index perspective, and so that probably scared the next marginal buyer of Google and really pushing it up. Maybe there was a little bit of a temp, as we saw in the 5 minute chart right here, a little bit of a push up, but overall, it could be. I think it could be an environment thing, right, where we just need better tailwinds before this really takes off. But it's good to see that this is still holding. Be interesting to see what happens tomorrow and if we hold like the 20-day moving average or the 50-day moving average. But yeah, now looking at the business entity itself, right? This is a $4 trillion company, and it's ginormous, right? With what 183,000 employees. And in terms of the economics that they're doing, it's about almost $350 billion as of last year, right? So yeah, this is an incredible business. It's just amazing. But we got to dive into the next part right here. So let's jump into the earnings and let me show you some of the stuff, and then we'll talk about the business. Very exciting stuff. Because again, in this day and age, right, AI is a big topic, and if we look around, what other players are really going after AI? You have Meta going after AI, right, with their efforts. You have XAI, Elon Musk going after AI, the world's largest data center built by him, AI data center, and then the things that he's doing with Grok, powering Grok, and then OpenAI with ChatGPT, Anthropic with Claude and everything. So lots of exciting stuff with Google and Gemini over here as well. So what do we have? So looking at it right here, this is as of today, February 4th, 2026. Consolidated revenue increase about 18 to 17 or 17% in constant currency. Right, so that was the result right there. Google services revenue increased 14%. YouTube revenue exceeded 60 billion for the full year. Oh, that's gigantic. It's good to know the size of that. Google Cloud saw a continued increase in customer demand as revenue increased by 48%. So their enterprise business is doing pretty well also. Consolidated Alphabet operating income increased 16% and operating margin was 31.6%. Okay, good to know. And then net income increased 30%. Cool. Let's go down. As you guys saw in the last analysis, what I love to do is dive into their balance sheet and just look at the cash that's sitting around. So if we look at the cash right here as of 2025, unaudited, altogether, it looks like total cash equivalents and marketable securities, right? Their liquidity tranche right here is about $126 billion. So this is one of those very well ginormous entities that is well capitalized to basically bet on anything to make sure that they win this AI race. So yeah, this is the press release right here, guys. What I want to look at now is going to the third part, which is still sort of part of the part two. You could say it's part of the earnings results, but in this third part right here that we're going to dive into, they really dissected the business. Well, not too detailed, but I love just the easy slide. So let me show it to you. So this is part three. So earnings highlight, right? Annual revenues exceeded 400 billion for the first time. That's amazing. But this is the slide that I really like as I was digging around. I really enjoyed that. It's like we understand Google or Alphabet, it's a ginormous company, but what is it that they do and where they make their money and how much traction are they getting, right? Especially in this new AI race that we have right now, this refreshed AI race. So overall, 17% year over year revenue growth in their search business. And we know that's getting impacted right now with everyone else, with ChatGPT or the introduction of ChatGPT and people using large language models to prompt and get answers versus like search. You're asking questions and you're getting answers before you were searching and digging on a search engine. So 17% year over year growth, that's good to know. That's their search and other ads business right there. Now, the very exciting part for me right here, because again, Gemini is something out there that I'm noticing myself using a lot more. And you can see it in the upper corner of this browser as well, this Google Chrome browser. 750 million plus Gemini app monthly active users. That's a lot of users. I need to go compare. I don't have a comparison chart, with this and like ChatGPT, but that's a lot of user. We know Google has a large user base, right? Not just with search, but on the right side, you can see right here also the Google YouTube app as well. So from YouTube, 60 billion revenue from YouTube ads plus subs in 2025. Wow, amazing. Now, again, this is the search business, the classic search business right here, and then the new large language model or LLM or foundation model business over here with Gemini app. Then you have YouTube over here, which we all know, and then finally we go into B2B, not BOB. That's hilarious. B2B business, 70 billion annualized revenue run rate. That's a big business, right? 70 billion annualized. I think AWS is much bigger, over 100 billion. 48% year over year growth. So that's our Google Cloud business. The next one here is pretty interesting as well. So tokens per minute, 10 billion plus tokens per minute. So across you see 1P models, including Gemini via direct API usage. So every time you use the Gemini app or anything that is powered by the Gemini large language model, it basically uses tokens, and that's how much is burned. So the rate right now is 10 billion plus tokens per minute is how many people on this planet is leveraging their Gemini app. Absolutely amazing. But I don't have a comparison with me on hand right now to show you like how much this is compared to however many other tokens are being used per minute, right? So that would be an interesting stat to look at. Maybe I could ask Gemini on this one. 325 million over here. So the last part plus 325 million plus paid consumer subscriptions across what Google One, YouTube, and other, even myself included. So I'm part of the stat right here, right? So 325 million. The USA alone, USA population is like what 320 million plus. So quite a bit. This is a juggernaut of a business. So folks, I really enjoyed this slide right here because it really captures like their business and also like shows a little bit on the technical side what's important to them, right? If you look at the various flavors of what's important to them, they got the search business, which they dominate. Then you have this new large language model business, the Gemini app that they're competing with, ChatGPT on OpenAI, Anthropic Claude, and Metalama and XAI Grok, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be an interesting battle for sure. And we, the consumers, will be the beneficiaries if we know how to look and execute in this new refresh AI race. YouTube, obviously, we know that business, right? That's the consumer business, the attention business right there. Google Cloud, B2B, and then the rest. Okay, cool. Let's go on to the next slide. So, Alphabet income statement. Again, this is a little bit of like what we looked at previously in the press release, but it's in a slide deck at this point. You see, let's see. I'm just going to read some of the stuff here. Revenue, Q4 year over year, 18%. So basically at 113 billion. Right. We go back to here. We look at the revenue for this. Right, for the whole year of 2024, 350 billion. So for the quarter, man, 113 billion. Amazing. Now, what do they take home? Every year, what they take home, they got this is the year to year. So the left table is the quarter over quarter. This one's the year over year, 15% year over year, 402 billion for fiscal year 2025. And the take home will be 132 billion. So that's a lot of money just, accumulating on the balance sheet of a mega entity organization company that's literally just 10 minutes from me here in Silicon Valley. Absolutely insane. So, Alphabet revenue, again, this goes into just the numbers again, right? 400 billion, as we mentioned right here, 15% increase year over year. I won't look at this one. This is the year over year growth and what quarterly or quarter over quarter. Alphabet operating income, I already mentioned they take home over $100 billion every year. So think about real estate prices around Google, right? It's insane. Alphabet costs of revenue and operating expense. So this gives a little bit of details. Let's focus on the right chart right here, year over year. Let's look at the recent one. So 29% year over year growth. But how's it broken down? Research and development, they spend $18 billion on that, on all those engineers. Sales and marketing, they spend about $8 billion to market themselves. And then G&A, right, general and administrative, about 5 billion. That's how much it costs to operate this entity. Google services revenue by operating income. So what we have right here. So if we dissect each segment, right, we look at this quarter, it looks like this one on the left side that I'm looking at. So by color, Google search and other, 63 billion. YouTube ads, 11 billion. Google network, right, 7.8 billion. And then subscriptions, platforms, and devices, 13 billion. Would be nice to understand where Gemini falls into this because essentially it's probably its own category. But again, that's what they're giving us. So that's all we know. Google Cloud revenues and operating income. So again, this goes to just the Google Cloud business specifically. Operating income is what they take home. Revenue over here is how much they're doing. So 17 billion for the quarter. Alphabet capital expenditures. Okay, so what are they spending on? So for this quarter, Q4 25, $27 billion in capital expenditures. That's a lot of money in millions, right? Am I reading that right? 27.8 billion. Wow, wowza. Trailing 12 months free cash flow, right? So what we got right here, year over year, free cash flow. Okay, just another slide right there. And this goes into the last one, which is the reconciliation from GAAP. Okay, more accounting stuff. But you folks get the point, right? This is the essential analysis that you notice me bouncing around doing honestly, because that's really how I personally believe you got to front load the work, put in the hours. That's how you get good at this stuff because one thing is learning this stuff and getting it into your brain. The other part is to be able to articulate this stuff, and then you go out there and you wheel and deal with other executives on this planet to do deals for yourself or on the other side come to a conclusion with all this analysis to whether invest or not invest in a company, right? So there's many ways that you can make money in the markets, but these are essential foundational training and practices that you got to go through just to understand this stuff because this is not an overnight thing here, folks. It took me a while to get to this point of comprehension. And in a world where AI, as you know, is only going to get more and more chaotic, constant chaos, I like to call it, comprehension debt is just accumulating across everybody. So the best thing you could do, put in the hours of work. I truly believe that. And if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for, hanging out with me and watching it. So thank you very much, folks.